I'm an exercise scientist and strength and conditioning coach. And it sounds like serious stuff, doesn't it? Yeah. It just means I just went to uni and I got a piece of paper. I'm able to work with high-level sports people and also people with injuries. I've been a coach for 8 years. I've worked at gyms, I've worked in clinics, and then right now I'm just doing my own personal business about human optimization. What that means is I help people like you, everyday people, to improve on their overall health and well-being through diet, exercise, and lifestyle modifications, really. I think we can all agree that in today's modern society, we're bombarded with so many things that Mother Nature never really intended for us to bear, right? We've got a lot of stresses that come inbound. For example, your phone's ringing every 5 minutes, and then, getting to work, the commute to work, your train's not on time, there's bad drivers, and even work itself. Work itself can be quite stressful. When stress comes up to a certain point, the body has a response. It's usually a hormonal response. I think you may have heard of it. The hormone is called cortisol. It's a stress hormone. And it's not actually a bad thing to have cortisol through your system. It helps you to wake up. It gives you energy. When it's in your system chronically, you can really disrupt your body's optimal processes. So, for example, you might have sleep disturbances. So if you're really stressed, you might notice that your sleep is impacted. And I think we've all experienced that to some point. And then also with stress comes your focus not being there, your mood. So all these things are negative impacts when you're stressed in this modern world. But there's a lot of good things about modern society, like all the conveniences that you have. And I can pretty much order my favorite foods at my fingertips. You don't even have to move. And I think Sam told me that she doesn't even go to work most days in the office. She works from home, right? That's a great convenience. It allows us to kind of de-stress from those things where we have to travel to work or we have to do something that's outside time management. Modern technology that allows us to watch TV, chill out with music, and that allows us to de-stress. At the same time, I think it also impacts on our physical activity. Imagine doing everything just from your lounge room, order your food, work. I think we can all agree that physical activity has decreased over time. And when it decreases, it really impacts our health. If you look at your phones, your smartwatches, what do they really highlight? Oh, how many steps have you done? The magic number, 10,000. Has anyone gotten close to that these days? I think even in modern times today, we understand that physical activity, exercise is really important to maintain your overall health. I want to highlight something that I saw in a Netflix documentary, Ted Bundy Files. So nothing related to fitness there, but really what I observed is, the case spanned from the 70s all the way to the 90s, right? They had film footage of the 70s and then they had all the way to 90s. But what I noticed in the background in those crime scenes were in the 70s, everyone looked like they're ready to go to the beach. They were really fit looking. Yeah, slim, all slim. And then as he got arrested and about to be put to heaven, you can see in the background of these people, they were getting a little bit bigger. The rise of obesity was definitely there. So you wonder whether it is the lack of activity or just the foods that we're eating that have changed, right? So that's why I want you to really embrace the power of movement. Okay, so I'm going to try and sell you to move a bit more today. So that's me jumping. It looks like I'm flying, but a bit of editing, it looks good. The floor's just there. So the power of movement. I'm going to go through 4 main topics today with a bit of Q&A at the end. So you can ask me anything that you like from those 4 topics or anything else that you can think of. And what I want to go through is why movement is medicine. Number 2, common office dangers, concerns. Not like tigers coming out of your desk or anything like that, but more so what common injuries or issues that you have with your body being more sedentary and stationary. So we're going to go through that and what you can do about it. So We're just going to do something that's practical in the office that you can do every day. And then we're going to go through a little bit about nutrition and then time for Q&A. But yeah, I want to share with you guys some valuable information that you can apply daily to really improve your overall health and well-being. Movement is medicine, and I really like this quote. And unfortunately, I didn't make it up. I just heard it from back in uni days, and I thought it really resonated with me. In my opinion, movement is medicine. We take medication all the time to regulate our blood pressure, glucose levels, and even to regulate our mood. Those are the things that, in my opinion, exercise can address, because exercise not only addresses the symptoms, but it also addresses the root cause of some of these things. So through exercise and movement, physical activity, you can lessen symptoms and also possibly treat the root cause. And I want to highlight one of the main things that why it's so important to move. You enhance circulation. So circulation is very important for a lot of things that work in your body, especially to do with increasing in oxygen. So we need oxygen to live. We also need oxygen for cells in your body to work optimally. When you're circulating your blood, you're also circulating nutrients to specific parts of your body, such as joints. So if you're feeling really stiff, they tell you to move because that's actually pushing blood nutrients to that area. If you ever go to the physio for a certain injury, usually the physio will give you a nice massage for that circulation, right? Oh, it feels good. The money is actually in the exercises that they give you. So the exercises, they promote circulation to the affected area. And that's because some areas in your body don't get as much circulation as others. When you get frostbite, it wants to protect here, vital organs, not your legs, not your arms. Usually when you get a circulation issue, you need to move and you need to give that area nutrients. Another thing, what's really important is waste removal. The obvious waste is carbon dioxide. We all exhale, inhale. Waste is number ones and number twos. There's a phenomenon called runner's stool. It means when you start running, you might get a bowel movement. Okay, so I got a funny story. My mate, he did Tough Mudder a few years back. And Tough Mudder, for those people who don't know, it's like an obstacle course that spans for kilometers, okay? And it's in the woods somewhere. During the run, he had to do runner's stool. He literally had to go into the woods. That age-old question, does a bear shit in the woods? This guy definitely did. But waste removal, very important. And a lot of people have issues with being regular, and I don't know if anyone in here has experienced it. You don't have to share, but I've definitely experienced it. I'm like, oh, that's really why movement is medicine. And another thing is, which I highlighted on earlier before, is your mood. When you move, you trigger your bliss chemicals. What are bliss chemicals? Bliss chemicals are endorphins. They're a very important compound that makes you happy. And they are triggered not only through exercise, but also when you hug someone, when you have a nice social interaction. And that makes you feel good. It's always nice when you go to bed at night and you kiss your dog or whatever, and you get those feel-good chemicals. But that also happens when you exercise. Ever heard of the term, if you're in a really high emotional state, go walk it off? Because what that means is you're trying to release endorphins to make you feel good, and it compartmentalizes your thoughts. Usually people get ideas because they go for a walk and all those chemicals build up, and it inspires you to manage your thoughts better. It can even ease symptoms of depression. Like, who can say they've done a workout, bit of physical activity where their heart rate goes up and you sweat, and say, I really regretted that, that sucked. At the time it might suck if you did a really high intensity session, but afterwards you're like, yeah, I'm glad I went. I'm glad I did something. It's because all those endorphins are in your body and they're going to your brain centers and they're triggering all those feel-good emotions. And another important thing about endorphins is it regulates your appetite. I read a really interesting study about a couple of years ago. They had two groups. One group was an exercise group and one group was a sedentary group. And they measured how many calories they consumed throughout the day. So you'd think that the group that did exercise would consume more calories because, oh yeah, I've expended energy. But in actual fact, they consumed a lot less calories than the sedentary group. They were able to regulate their appetite a lot better. And just to give you an example, I haven't eaten anything today. I've just had 2 black coffees, some water, but I've trained today. I did a row, and I exercise frequently, and I think that's a part of the reason why I usually don't eat as many meals or snack too often. Obviously, it's okay to snack, but keep in mind that regular exercise, physical activity really regulates your appetite. So hunger is really just clockwork, your circadian rhythms. If you're eating at 10 o'clock every morning, most of the time those hormones are going to release and you're going to feel hungry during those times. But when you exercise, your body works optimally, so it will tell you when you are actually hungry.